Hey everyone, this is Shawn Powell, and obviously this is Exitus Elite. I do, and I jumped into one of the official Facebook groups for Exitus Elite, and the guy asked, what was your why? And of course, anybody's in online business, you always hear people say, "What's your why? Why are you doing this? What was your why?" And a long time ago, and I mean like the first month or month and a half in the business, I actually stated why I was doing it, but I really realized I hadn't told anybody else in a long time, why was I doing this business. And so I decided when I saw that post yesterday that I wanted to tell people what my why was, to be honest. And though there I posted a picture of my little boy, and of course that was it, there was right much more to it, to be honest. And so before I started online business, my little boy, I was still single. My little boy was still, staying with me most of the time. He stays some at his mom's. He can come and go wherever he likes. He's a happy little boy. Whatever he wants to do, I'm the first. He wants to see Mama, I pick the phone up right then. It's always been like that. But he had gotten pretty sick. He had gotten to the point where he couldn't use the bathroom like he's supposed to. And that summer, before I got in online business, it had gotten bad to the point where he couldn't leave the house. He was hurting in bad pain, and his when he used the bathroom, it was incredibly, it was painful. It was bad painful. It was big. It was very big and painful for a little boy, and it got to the point where he couldn't use it no more. So we ran him to different places, and they just weren't doing anything to really help him. So I decided that me and his mom decided that he needed to go to Chapel Hill. He needed to stay there, and I don't care what anybody says, he's not coming home until he's done using the bathroom. He was pure raw from where, I don't mean to be graphical, but he was having some stuff coming out, but it would never stop coming out. But he couldn't use the bathroom. I know it sounds weird, but it was bad. It was really, really bad. So we took him there to the hospital, and they felt very confident they could get him squared away. What they were going to do is, and they told me right from the beginning, they're going to run tubes down his nose into his stomach, and that that he wouldn't be able to eat anything for the next, as long as it takes, right? Well, that night eating wound up being 5 or 6 days straight. I think the 6th day he finally ate, where he couldn't eat anything, and he only had fluids. And well, he was tired from the trip, and he wasn't really himself because it made him feel bad all the time. He wasn't playful like he used to be, because this problem was draining him. It really was. So I decided, the best thing to do is stay here and get everything squared away before he goes home. All right. I called my workplace. I told him, y'all, I ain't coming home. I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm sick or something, and if that's where I can, unless it's bad, I'll work what I need to work out. You might put me in the back where I'm not getting people contaminated or whatever, but I will always, be there. But when it comes to my little boy, no. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. And when we left, we didn't know it was going to take place like that. And I didn't bring any more clothes. I wore the clothes I came that day with. And I didn't shave the entire time I was there. And I grew my beard during that time. That's the first time I ever really had a beard, really. And Adam liked it. He really liked it. So I kept it just because of him. It was part of him doing so good at the hospital. So if you ever want to see why I got a beard, that's it. It probably makes me look older, but I don't care. It's not that big of a deal. But when I first got there and they told me about the tube down the nose, I knew it was going to be tough. Adam was give out, and he laid down and fell asleep right there on the the bed. And they were putting medicine on his butt, and we really thought maybe that was going to be, I didn't know what they were going to do, to be honest. They were looking at doing x-rays to find out, make sure he didn't have what's called Hirschsprungs, which is where the body itself will not let you use the bathroom. I wonder why in the world it did that for. Sorry. Hope it goes back. Well, I don't know why it did that. Okay, well, let me get this squared away if my computer ever let me do it. Okay, so anyhow, he was laying there and he fell asleep. They came in, and for 2 hours, y'all, I walked around and I was sweating them putting that tube down his nose. And they decided, there was 4 of them. There were 4 women, and they decided they were going to hold him down and slip it up his nose while he was asleep. Well, obviously, that's not going to happen. You're not going to stay asleep. And he woke up, and it scared the mess out of him. And, and here I wasn't close enough to him. And he was looking up at me, and I mean, it was traumatizing, y'all. It was, I know everybody's got kids that's seen different things. I know it's a lot worse than what Adam was seeing. I know that. But y'all, it was tough for me and him right there. And, to be asleep, tired, and then somebody sticks something up your nose like that. So I wound up, I told him, look, y'all, let me get beside him. I laid beside him, and I put my head right beside his head, and we turned our head to the left, or to his right. And I just kept saying, and he had his arms around me. I said, baby, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. That's all I kept saying. And I kept kissing him on his cheek. And I wouldn't let him move while, because I had to do it. And I was rubbing his head. I was doing everything I could, and it was, I would take 5 of my nose before one for him. That's how I felt. And when it was done, he started spitting up blood a little bit where it was hitting the back of the roof of his mouth and stuff like that, but when he was done, he was freaking out, And then all of a sudden, he stopped. And it won't Adam no more. And it was, she was traumatized. I mean, he really was. And he just stood there and looked at the walls. And that bothered me, really bothered me. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like I let him down. But he was okay, And the next day, his mom had gone home and get some clothes. I wasn't gonna leave, so I stayed there with him. And the next day, she brought the iPad, and he still wasn't talking. He's just sitting there looking at the wall, no emotion or anything, and that's not who he is. So he took the iPad, and his cousin had called him. And for the first time, he opened up and started playing with Noah, on the iPad, wanting to talk with him. And to me, that was a blessing, to see my little boy finally, he jumped out of the problem he was having. And after that, it was not that bad. He got used to that in his nose. The problem he had was everything we watched was, for kids, movies and stuff like that on TV, and every commercial was a McDonald's. I swear to you, it was. And we got to the point where we had to quit watching TV because of the food commercials in between it. And several times a day, you could smell the food down the hallway, and me and Adam's mom, we had to take turns leaving the room because we wouldn't eat in front of them. We're definitely not going to do that, So, and anytime he'd say about eating, he's like, Mama, I really want McDonald's. He keeps saying something like that, And all we could say is, you know what, I'm not hungry. We're trying to make him, he learned how to play chess. We learned how to play chess. We played checkers. We did anything we could there, to keep entertained. And it wasn't bad. To be honest, in some ways, I was working so many hours a week that I appreciated being stuck in a room with him. That's all we did, But anyhow, he wound up doing great. My little boy, he's so sweet. The nurses, all the doctors love to hear him talk. He's a lot like I am. He's a talker, And he would talk about how he missed his cat. Her name is Baby. She's the one that's in the videos, if anybody's ever seen her in the videos before, walking around the background or whatever, And he just talks about, how pretty her eyes was and stuff like that. It's just really sweet hearing a little boy talking about that. And then he lost his first tooth in the hospital with the tube down his nose. So the tooth fairy went to see him, and that was sweet. All the nurses put candy together because we didn't have anywhere to get money, to be honest. I gave him a little bit, but we gave him a whole bunch of candy, a bag of candy. And when he woke up the next morning, he had a bag of candy underneath his pillow. So it worked out really good. I got pictures of that too, of course. But y'all, when I came home, or before we came home, Adam, I asked him, I said, baby, what would you like to do if you do really good here, you do whatever you got to do, stay as long as we got to do. I know you're going to be ready to go home, but when you're ready to go home, what do you want to do? He said he wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese with his friends. It was going to be like a party, So I decided that would be exactly what we do. So finally the day came. He was going home. I got all the kids together and stuff like that, probably about a week's time. Went to Chuck E. Cheese, and his favorite arcade game was Fast and Furious, and they had taken it out. And it was really the reason he wanted to go, to be honest. And I never even thought the chance that they'd taken something like that out, So I can tell he's a little disappointed in it. He still had fun playing with his kids, the other kids and stuff. And of course, he wouldn't complain about it. But I knew that was something that was in his mind. I have a guy that lives not too far away from me who sells arcade games. So I contacted him and I asked him about this game, and he had 3 of them. And I told him, I said, well, look, buddy, I said, I really want to get one for my little boy. And I told him, the situation. And he told me $700, and he would deliver it for free. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. That game looked brand new. I mean, it didn't even look like it had been touched. It was gorgeous. So I told him, I said, yeah, we'll do that. Well, I told him it's going to take a little while for me to get the money up. Y'all, that is when I found online business. That is when I came into it, and I made my goal is getting this as fast as I could. Now, I'd been in online business maybe 2 weeks or something like that. And my sponsor had told me that I needed to make at least 50 videos, right? Y'all, I'm going to tell you, I did 130 YouTube videos by a month and a half by the time I started. Because I was after getting this for my little boy. That's what I wanted. And that's what I got. And this picture here, y'all, he had been at his mom's. I told him I had something coming over for him doing so good in the hospital, and that's what it was. I set it up right there in the foyer. It wasn't even in his bedroom or anything yet. And he played that game. Now, this is a picture right then. And he played until 12 o'clock that night. And it was a school night. And I stood right there beside him, and I watched him. But to me, that was my why. That was really is what got me going in online business, and what made me do it. So I think if your why is real, if it's really something that's going to move you, then yeah, I mean absolutely. You got to have that reason. And I would normally say, what's my why? If somebody asks me, it's just my little boy. I don't normally tell people my story behind it. But I can tell you this, if it weren't for that desire to reach my goal, I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably wouldn't have took me down the path it took and get me going in the direction I did. So, and I apologize. That's been almost 2 years ago. And I know there's so many kids that's got so many elements and stuff, that big time stuff, that my little boy, he still takes a lot of medication for what we do. And but he don't hurt none at all. He's happy. He's 100% Adam. He's, as soon as he came back from the hospital and that was done, he jumped up with energy. Has so much more energy. And but it was rough for me to see him to go through that. And I think that it's brought us closer together in some ways. But yeah, just like you see right here in this with the beard, that was why. Because Adam said he liked me with the beard, and to be honest, I just hadn't shaved. He'd never seen me not shave. And I told him if he did good, because I knew he still had some days to go at that time, that I'd keep my beard, and that's why I keep it. So anyhow, y'all, look, I didn't, I probably didn't speak the clearest I could have, so I apologize. But yeah, that's my why. That's why I did this business, or got into online business. And from one business to the next, you learn something from it. I really made myself mature in a lot of ways. And now I'm in the business I'm in now, Exitus Elite. And y'all, I can tell you the reason I'm so excited about it is because of the fact that I know so many people that are normal people can do this. One sale a month, y'all, would change your life. And now that one sale, you know, if you hit people who are medium, I wouldn't say, you know, beginner necessarily, but they're somewhat more advanced than that, they've got a sponsor for what they've been into other business or businesses, and they've got some downline. And a lot of times they've already talked to somebody. Y'all, the magic of this is about 30% to 35%, somewhere like that, the people that I sign up, y'all, has already got someone else to come in within 15 minutes to 2 hours. Okay, so you're not looking at $1,000, you're looking at $2,000, and that's to me, that's incredible. That's a gift off the side of what you're already doing. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how business works. And some of y'all, you know, if you had $1,000 or $2,000, how much will it fuel you for keep going forward? Because I know a lot of y'all have never made that kind of money before and has spent a lot of money and has not gone forward. I understand that, y'all. I understand that. I'm telling you, pay to play this game. Get out to the people. Stay consistent. Show people you believe in your business. Do videos that's going to mean something to somebody, and you're going to get heard. Somebody's going to be motivated by you, and you're going to move forward. There's no doubt in my mind. So anyhow, y'all, if you have not already subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing a lot of videos. I've started something, Shawn's Daily Tips. I'll be doing that on a regular basis as well. Things that, you know, I see somebody ask about that I think would be, you know, good to talk about. So sometimes I'm looking for subjects, you know, to elaborate on what I've learned in, you know, the last couple of years and being online business. But if you're not in it, y'all, go ahead and jump in. Still get in while you can still get in cheap. The price is $1,000, you know, plus the $300 for the other. It's going to go up $300 more real soon. Get in, go ahead and buckle down, get out to the people, and it's going to change your life. Okay? Appreciate it.